Morning, everybody. Justin Wynings with Team Titan Real Estate. Today I have with me Mr. Jeff Hurd, aka the Lone Ranger. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing fantastic, Justin, man. Good to be here.
Good. Well, thanks for being here today. So just wanted to bring you on today and talk a little bit about the importance of the pre-approval process with where we're seeing this market right now. We're seeing a lot of multiple offer situations. Buyers are sometimes getting frustrated that they may be in that situation or haven't gotten their offer accepted yet. Maybe they've put an offer on a couple different homes. So can you just kind of dive in a little bit, talk about the importance of the pre-approval process, how they can get a leg up when they're in a multiple offer situation, things of that nature?
Yeah, man, it's extremely important. First of all, man, thank you for having me on here with the Team Titan and the Titan Tips. Really excited to be here and talk about this. So in the market we're in right now, in the market we've always been in, the pre-approval has always been this thing that's floating around. Pre-approval, pre-qualification. What does that mean? So basically, let's talk about the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval. A pre-qualification is you've talked to a lender, you've told them some information, they've run some numbers for you, and that's your pre-qualification. A pre-approval is a little more in-depth. You've talked to the lender, you've given some information, but you've also provided income documentation, whether it's pay stubs, bank statements, tax returns, asset documentation like those bank statements, IRAs, 401ks. So that lender has actually vetted the process. That's what takes a pre-qualification to a pre-approval and makes it a stronger document, makes it a stronger position to be in when you're out there looking to buy a house. I always tell folks this. There's three major factors when you're getting a pre-approval. There's three reasons to get a pre-approval. Number one, the pre-approval gives you options. If you're engaging with a lender and you're having dialogue about what you want to do and what you want to purchase, that pre-approval allows you to look at different programs and different options that are out there. If you're talking to a lender and all they're doing is regurgitating one loan program for you, you need to talk to another lender. It doesn't have to be me, but you need to talk to another lender. You want to get that information so you know what ammunition you have, because there's never simply one loan program. There's always alternative products. There's always multiple options that you can have. You want to explore that. The first questions any lender should ask you is, how much are you comfortable spending per month? And how long do you plan on being in the house? Because those two questions are important to be able to figure out how to cater the loan to your needs. There's no right or wrong loan program. Conventional FHA is not right or wrong. It's right or wrong for that situation. So make sure when you're engaging in dialogue to have those questions asked of you. And if they're not asked of you, volunteer. And again, like I said, talk to somebody else, talk to a couple of lenders just to get that comfort zone. So that's number one, is to give you your options. You know what your options are. You know, if I buy X amount of house, this is what my payment's going to run. If I go up a little bit higher, this is how much the payment's going to change. Those are important things to know. So it gives you that confidence with the pre-approval to know what you're looking at buying. Number two, the pre-approval gives you your specific range. It gives you that range on what you're looking at. So it's not just options. You know, if I'm going out and I'm looking at a house for $315,000 and the taxes are this much, I've already had this conversation with my lender. I know my payment's going to look like this with 5% down or 3% down. So you have a more tuned in idea of what that purchase price is going to look like and what that's going to mean to your bottom line. You don't want to go out looking at a house and look at Zillow and say, well, it's $400,000 house and my payment's $800 a month. Well, if you put $300,000 down and you don't pay taxes, yes, your payment could be $800 a month. So we got to look at things that's realistic. So that's the second part of it. Number one, have your options. Number two, know what your payment looks like so you know what your range is, you know what your comfort level is. And number three, and this is probably the most underrated piece of the pre-approval, the pre-approval gives you ammunition. It gives you ammunition with the other side when you're out there making an offer. You just mentioned how hot this market is, how much demand is out there and how little supply is out there. In economic terms, that means this is becoming a seller's market rapidly. So you're seeing multiple offers. You're seeing people come in offering more than what the sales price was. This is a dynamic that the normal public doesn't necessarily understand because they're not seeing it on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
That's why it's always most important to get with the realtor team like Team Titan, like Justin Wynings, so they can help guide you through the process. If you're selling your house or if you're buying a house right now and you're not using a realtor, you're not using someone like Justin or his team, you could be missing out on thousands of dollars when you sell your house, and you can be missing out on the opportunities to buy that dream house without having that advocate on your side. That is huge. But to circle back around to that piece about the ammunition, invariably when we write an offer, when someone writes a contract to buy a house, the listing side, that's the seller's people, they will call me as the lender and ask questions. Hey, tell me about this buyer. Is this buyer qualified? Now, I can't tell the other people what someone's credit score is, and I can't divulge personal information. We're not going to do that. However, we can give them a warm and fuzzy and let them know, hey, we've had this conversation. And if we've had the conversation and we've pulled credit and we've run numbers and I have pay stubs and documentation and bank statements. So in other words, we have a full pre-approval, not just a pre-qualification, whereas we've gone through the steps. That does two things. That gives me the ability to unequivocally tell the other side, these people are fantastic. They've already been vetted. Everything's been run. They're not pre-qualified. They're pre-approved. We can get this thing done in 20, 25 days. Everything's rocking and rolling. We're good to go. That can help you win a contract if you're in a competing situation with somebody else who doesn't have that. So
absolutely,
urgency for the pre-approval is right there in that thing. You want to know what you're looking for. Yes. You want to know your options. Those are important. You got to know those things. But I think so often we forget about how underrated it is to have that pre-approval lined up. It's order of operations. You've already taken your steps. You're ready to roll. When you go make that offer, everything else becomes easier. I've been doing this for 27 years. My wife and I work together. One of the things that we have seen and I've experienced year over year over year, if we do the due diligence up front and we get with our clients up front and we're getting documentation early, the process becomes infinitely smoother. And that's what we want, is smooth transactions. We want folks to have happy, good, fun times when they're buying and selling homes.
Absolutely, man. That was awesome. Thank you, Jeff. I'm sure folks are going to have a lot of questions. I'm going to put your contact information below. They can get in touch with you or Denise and your team and go from there. Thanks so much for your time.
Appreciate it, man.